All right, Dan, what are we talking about today?
A common wisdom in climbing is trying to stay tight to the wall and trying to keep your hips as kind of close and locked in as possible so you can weight the feet as much as possible so that you don't pull too much or climb too thuggily. The result of that, though, sometimes is that when you're into the wall and really pinned in here, you're blocked so that you can't rotate in. Your hand is kind of physically impeded by the wall. And additionally, as soon as I let go with this hand, I swing out away from the wall. So even though my effort is to stay in and tight and well tensioned, what ends up happening is I create this inescapable swing that makes it difficult for me to move properly, and I'm already flying out before I get to the position that I'm trying to be in. So grab some chalk. There are a whole bunch of different things that you can try to drill into and think about to correct this issue. But one that I find to be particularly quick and easy is to simply think about getting as far away from my bottom hand as I possibly can, or whichever hand is going to be moving next. It is almost impossible to get too far away without it being very intuitively obvious. Generally, I would have to push off of the bottom hand or I'll blow off the top hand or something. It's very difficult to get past the plumb line, but it's very easy to sort of relax to the plumb line. So all I'm going to try to do is, instead of pulling in really tight, I'm going to just relax away as far as I can from the bottom hand until I find a nice sort of moment of balance. So anytime you find yourself swinging out more than you'd expect, whether it's on a jump move or a tensiony foot or whatever, it's a good indicator to try out this approach of releasing and getting as far away, casting away as far as you can from the moving hand and shifting into the top hand.
So what is the plumb line?
So the plumb line is essentially that vertical balance point. It's both side to side and in and out, but the one that I think people tend to lose more is the in and out. We seem to have a relatively easier time figuring out that we need to be sideways under a hold. But very often, even if people end up in balance side to side, they're frequently too far into the wall. And so when they start moving, they're like, man, why is my body touching so bad? Man, why can't I keep this foot? So that, especially against the backdrop of a lot of early climbing technique, is staying sucked in as much as you can and not being bunched up and hips out. So it is sort of a almost inevitable consequence of initial technique learning. And so this is now, I guess, correcting that.
So how should people practice this?
In a simplest sense, this is just another way to think about normal climbing movements. So if instead of thinking I'm now on my right hand, I need to pull over to my right hand and walk my feet and kind of drop knee and kind of get underneath this, instead of thinking sort of about what the control hand is doing, it gives you a perspective to think about what the offhand is doing. So in exactly the same movement, instead of thinking about getting under this, I'm just this needs to now relax. Oh, hey, just by relaxing this, even though my feet and everything are totally out of balance, I'm now weighted on this hand, and this is relatively floaty. So now if I want to go into something else, I could think about isolating this, or I could just think about relaxing my right hand. And so all these things, even in relatively straightforward moves, it just shifts the focus away from the hand that's doing the squeezing and towards the hand that's letting you kind of shift down and away. So all it is really is another lens to refine your climbing. And all you're going to try to be doing to keep it as very simple as possible is just relax the arm that's going to be moving.
So does this mean we're supposed to not pull with our lower hand?
If you're trying to do a move statically, then you generally want to completely unload the bottom hand. So I still need to find the balance position even more if I'm going to do it as a lock off. If I don't and I try to lock it off, it's going to be really hard, and I still end up having to kind of control that swing and get back into position. The other option is, if I want to do the move dynamically, then initiating the dynamic component is going to happen with the bottom hand. So I still cast out, but I now use this to do a little bit of out to in and pop through. So basically, by casting out and relaxing the bottom hand, it helps you find a better starting position for the subsequent move and you will completely unload it if you want to do a move statically, and you will use it to start your movement if you want to do something dynamically. If you're interested in some more personalized coaching, check out our website at hoopersbeta.com/coaching. And remember that if you've unfortunately run into any new little tweaks or niggles, we have the recovery blueprint up and available for anyone who needs it. And finally, if you want more content like this, remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.